The Los Angeles Lakers have to fix this now, or it's going to be a very long season. We're breaking down the Lakers' opening night loss to the Golden State Warriors. We got our big takeaways. We'll hear from Luka Doncic, JJ Redick, DeAndre Ayton. We're breaking down the highlights. And Vanessa Bryant did what? All that more coming up next on the LA Sports Report. LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go! The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC is good. This whole city has the Mamba mentality. I love LA.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is the LA Sports Report with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, and welcome to the LA Sports Report. My name is Doug McKain. I've covered LA sports for over a decade. 24/7 Sports, Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, Dodgers Nation, and now the LA Sports Report. So Lakers fans, if you're new to the show, this is my new channel that's dedicated to all LA sports, the Lakers, the Rams, the Chargers, USC, UCLA, of course, the Dodgers. If they're talking about it in the world of LA sports, it's going to be right here. But this isn't your normal sports podcast where we glaze every single member of the team. This is where we're going to have to give the hard truths, okay? I mean, there's a lot of Lakers podcasts. Feels like they're all reading the same script. Feels like they're all saying the same exact things. They're going soft on some of these players, some of these coaches. You're not going to see that here. We are going to keep it 100 with the purple and gold. I, of course, grew up in Los Angeles, born and bred in Los Angeles, went to UCLA, did UCLA radio, covered the Bruins there, and I had a Lakers show at UCLA, and I'm a lifelong bleeder of the purple and gold. So, yes, you probably know me for my Dodgers coverage, my Rams coverage, and I do the NFL radio for Westwood One, but I absolutely live and breathe Lakers basketball. So, yeah, you're going to find a lot of that on this show. Also, a giveaway once we hit 3,000 subscribers. We're giving away an authentic Lakers Luka Doncic number 77 jersey. All you have to do is comment Luka, LASR, down below in the comments and be subscribed to the channel, and you are eligible to win. We're going to throw it right into a bank, and we are going to have a raffle, and once we hit 3,000, anyone that commented that will have their name eligible to win a Luka Doncic Lakers jersey. Okay, let's get right into it. Last night, the Lakers, they lose on opening night. They fall to the Golden State Warriors 119-109, and it was a very evenly matched game early on. The Lakers came out, and you had Luka Doncic looking slim and trim with that revenge bod. He put on his show, had over 40 points. And early on, it was even. I mean, the Lakers, they were putting up points, and then all of a sudden you get this big offensive drought between the 7:55 mark and about the 3-minute mark in the first quarter. And then the second quarter, you saw a nice little run by the Lakers after Jimmy Butler, Marcus Smart. They were going at it so you could do the best flopping between the two. And then Butler, he, of course, finds a way to get to the free throw line all night. 14 for 14, 15 for 15. I mean, if the Lakers hit their free throws last night, if they had more than 8 threes last night, even with bad free throw shooting and 3-point shooting, they still were able to cut it to 6 in the fourth quarter. But last night, first big takeaway is I got 2006, 2007, 2008 Kobe Bryant vibes. And I don't mean that in a good way, because we know that was Kobe's peak prime as far as athleticism, as far as 81-point game, as far as his ability to dominate individually, but he did not have the talent around him to be a title contender. And yes, LeBron James was on the bench. He's still out for a few more weeks dealing with the sciatica issue. But last night, it felt like it was Luka Doncic. You saw Austin Reaves have some moments, but he did not have the talent around him to really make this a dominating win, a win where you felt good about a Lakers team on opening night. And we saw Vanessa Bryant, and we saw Natalia Bryant sitting courtside, and they're probably thinking to themselves, yeah, this probably reminds me of Kobe Bryant back when he didn't have Pau Gasol and he was playing with Smush Parker and Roni Torioff. And she's probably saying to myself, yeah, these are the same vibes that I got back in the day when it was just about watching Kobe put on a show, but they're not going to make a deep run in the playoffs. They're not legitimate title contenders. By the way, I think she wore that ring right there. She wore one of Kobe's championship rings. That's a nice flex to show, hey, this group, Lakers, this is all about championships, okay? And I think she's thinking to herself, hey, this reminds me of when those bums around my husband and all, he had to do all the work, because Luka Doncic was outstanding yesterday. Luka Doncic was phenomenal, and you saw the difference right away in the conditioning and the body and how he's prepared himself heading into this season. It's a different version of Luka Doncic, and we're seeing a guy who I predicted would win the MVP. And sure, are the Lakers a title contender right now? A lot of work needs to be done, and you need to win a lot of games. And we know the award for the NBA MVP typically goes to the best player on the best team, but last year Shea was deserving. But as far as overall talent, it looked like Luka Doncic leveled up. And it's wild to think that a guy who's been as good as he's been throughout his career could level up, but he has not won an MVP in his career. And last night, I think he made a statement, and it wasn't just the points, because we've seen Luka Doncic have incredible scoring nights. His overall line, Luka, he ends up with 41 points on the night. And 41 for Luka, you feel good about that, a 40 piece. But it was 43 points in 41 minutes, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers, 1 foul committed. That's it. Was 17 for 27 from the field, 2 for 10 from beyond the arc, 7 for 10 from the charity stripe. Was an overall -8 just because, okay, the team is what they are. But when you look at his line, what really sticks out to me is, one, if he makes a couple more three-pointers, the Lakers might have stolen that one. But it's the points in the paint and how he was allowed to do that because of the stamina, of his ability to dominate the way he did and use that size. He ends up going 15 for 17 from 2-point range in yesterday's game. And I think you're going to see Luka hit that 3-point shot with more regularity. We know he will, but it was just such a better version of Luka Doncic physically. Hey, you go to LA, you got the revenge bod, and this is not Ozempic Luka Doncic. This is Luka Doncic who wants to give a gigantic middle finger to Nico Harrison and that Dallas Mavericks organization, and also a guy who understands that he's with an organization in the Lakers where now he's not judged by the Jason Kidds or the Dirk Nowitzkis or the Steve Nashes, the legends of a Mavericks organization. He's now going to be judged with the Kobe Bryants and the Magic Johnsons and the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars and the Shaquille O'Neals and the Anthony Davises, LeBron Jameses, the Jerry West, the Gail Goodriches. The list goes on. And I think that he's embracing being a Los Angeles Laker. And also, we saw Kobe Bryant, after Shaq left, add some more muscle, make a bigger emphasis to be better conditioned, and we saw it pay dividends in the first game of the season. Here was Luka Doncic after the game talking about how the weight loss has already had a positive impact on his game.
Probably just more attacking the paint. I think I'm getting better on defensive end, just trying to be more involved, more communication, but overall, 41 minutes, so I like that.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel it, though? Do you feel it when you're out there?
Yeah, I feel it. Like I say, less tiring, better shape. So just trying to get a win. And then what's next?
I love it. I will say one thing, just talking to some of these players as they enter seasons, one thing that I was always told is if you have a big off season from a body transformation standpoint, once you combine in-game action with the diet continuing and the workout regimen continuing, you have to make sure you're not losing muscle mass throughout the season because you don't want to put him in a situation where he's getting injured. But he was relentless last night. He was absolutely relentless. He was attacking the paint. He was creating for other guys. That third quarter, when they had absolutely nothing going for him, it was Luka Doncic that gave them any sign of life. And I think the first biggest takeaway from last night is the Lakers are getting a MVP Luka Doncic. They truly are. We knew it was coming. We felt it was coming. But last night was the first sign of proof that it's actually here. He was the best player on the court, and there really was not a close second, and you could not be more excited if you're a Lakers fan, knowing that, hey, Anthony Davis, he looks like he's on the Luka Doncic diet now in Dallas. AD, I mean, he's looking plump. He's looking plump in Dallas, and that he's eating that Dallas barbecue. But even a healthy Anthony Davis, even a slim and trim Anthony Davis has shown to get injured. So I still think it's the trade of the century for the Lakers, and they're going to have to put a team around him. But last night was a really good sign. Now, here was Luka Doncic, though. Talk about some of the adjustments this team's going to make in their first game, because another big takeaway from last night, it's one game, but it wasn't the best first showing with Luka Doncic and newly acquired center DeAndre Ayton. So we'll talk about that. But here was Luka Doncic talking about DeAndre Ayton and the big difference.
Honestly, I would say that third quarter, the start, I think we had these problems last year too. So I think that was the most of the problem. It was a close game. We were down one at halftime, but then just start of third quarter, they went on a run. Just attack the paint, and then I think when I attack the paint, it happens better things for my teammates. Sometimes they're gonna help, sometimes no. So I just gotta attack even more the paint and then reach from there. I mean, obviously we have 81 games to go, but obviously we want to win every game. My comfort level is good. I think there was a lot of positive things tonight. Obviously, a lot of things that we need to work on. Like I said, especially third quarter, we got to figure it out. But my confidence is fine.
So he's talking about his confidence level in this team, and when he was asked about DeAndre Ayton and the role that he has in his chemistry that's building with him, with Ayton, he said, I think I have to do a better job just talking to him, like what I want, what he wants. I didn't get him enough touches probably, so that was on me today. I got to help him out. And the numbers back up Luka's claim right there. Ayton was efficient on the shot attempts. He goes 5 for 7 from the field, but that's nowhere near where he needs to be the guy they're hoping he would be. They need him to get closer to 20 points. You need double-digit shot attempts. And DeAndre Ayton, throughout his career, has averaged 12.4 shot attempts per game, so 7 wasn't enough. And he talked about kind of where he wants that ball. And Luka Doncic said, I think he prefers that pocket pass. I didn't play with his center like that. I think he prefers the pocket pass. Like I said before, we need to talk about it, and then we need to get him more touches. So Luka Doncic is masterful when it comes to a rangy, athletic, rim-running type of center that he can just throw it up, and he can get it, and he can throw it down. And DeAndre Ayton is a little bit of a different type of player. There's no doubt about that because of where he likes to get the basketball. He's someone that you can see turning around, getting some shots up, and having a little more finesse to his game. But I think for the relationship between DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic to continue to grow, they have to get on the same page as to where Luka Doncic thinks that they can be most effective, and DeAndre Ayton thinks that he's more comfortable in how he can help this team. But having said that, I think that DeAndre Ayton needs to adjust to Luka Doncic more than Luka Doncic needs to adjust to DeAndre Ayton, because Ayton is a guy that needs to add that element to his game because he's capable of it. I mean, just ask yourself this question if you are DeAndre Ayton. I mean, his production throughout his career, and like I said, he ends up with 10 points, 6 rebounds in 34 minutes. Last season, averaged 16.4 points per game on 10.2 rebounds in 30 minutes per game. So it was still a below-average type of game for DeAndre Ayton, but he has shown the ability to do that in the past. Last night after the game, I looked up how Chris Paul played with DeAndre Ayton in his first game when they played together in Phoenix, and that was back on December 23rd, 2020 versus Luka's Mavericks. And Chris Paul in that one, he had 8, 4, and 4, had 2 steals, was a -10 for the game. And DeAndre Ayton had 13 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and he was 5 for 9. So he was pretty similar to that. So it's going to take, and we saw Chris Paul show the ability to develop a little more chemistry with DeAndre Ayton as that continued, and it's going to take some time for them to get a rhythm. They're going to have to get accustomed to each guy's play styles, and the only other game that Luka and Ayton played together was in 2018 in Check's Notes, the Rising Stars game. So everyone expecting them to be Shaq and Kobe in game 1, you have to recalibrate those expectations. And while I do want to see DeAndre Ayton be more of a lob threat, you still have to play to his strengths. And I would like to see him come out of his comfort zone a little bit to cater his style to what Luka Doncic brings. And that's a guy who can get into the paint, attract attention, get guys open, swing it, give him a lob, give those kind of opportunities to Ayton. If that's not what he's comfortable with, I think mixing it up for him could do him right and do him well. And show teams out there, too, that he's willing to adjust, and it'll help get that big contract that he's after. But I will say, too, that Ayton is a guy that has skills that this team did not have last year. And even though that the game that he had last night was not the game that you're hoping to see from him throughout this entire season, you did see some flashes. You saw some consistent scoring opportunities at times. And I think for Ayton, the big question is can he walk the walk? He's talked the talk. His former team paid money to have him exiled and said, okay, we're done with you. And you signed with the Lakers to try to improve your stock to get a big deal. Well, we saw some bad habits last night from Ayton, the ones that we've heard. He didn't rebound the ball well. He wasn't aggressive enough offensively. He didn't force that rhythm with Luka. There were times out there where he felt a little passive. I don't want to throw the S word on him and say he was soft, but there were some moments out there where like, hey, man, it's the Lakers. It's the purple and gold. You're at the crit, man. You put on that purple and gold. It's the best uniform in the NBA. It's the most prestigious. You're a center playing for that same franchise, George Mikan and Wilt and Kareem and Shaq and Pau and AD and Eldon Campbell, right? I mean, obviously, shout out to Eldon Campbell, but the truth is, I was expecting a little more fire from DeAndre Ayton yesterday. And he was all right defensively when he was in space, and he's the guy making calls out on defense. But still, you're going to need to get a better grade from him. If last night Luka Doncic, I give him an A, because we know what an A+ looks like, but that was an A version of Luka Doncic. I think last night was a C-, D+ version of DeAndre Ayton. But here was DeAndre Ayton talking about his first game in the purple and gold.
They're just staying together. I feel like we responded pretty well on my communication out there, but obviously some execution and closing possessions on the defensive end. We got a little discombobulated, but yeah, I walked in here saying it was on me on some possessions where I felt like I should have talked more, or probably even blitz early, just doing my natural deeds on the defensive end. But I feel like my guards really did a good job on just communicating and trusting me back there while I was trying to call out them coverages. Yeah, they came out like they normally do. They're a great third quarter team. JJ warned us and told us to be ready, and they came out, shooting the lights out, and that's what got their momentum and kind of put us on our heels a little bit, and they start coming downhill, attacking us to the rim and drawing fouls. I was realizing I'm probably a confusing big, whether I can roll and stay in the pocket. It's probably a little difficult for them sometimes. I'm so used to the league having that low man on me. Sometimes I can't even finish a roll, and a tiny bit linger around the free throw area just to be available for him. And there's times where I can finish my roll, and it's just we gotta play some more and play against some more great teams like how we did tonight to really see what's the common coverage of these teams. Really trying to put us on their personnel, what they got. And I'm excited about all of that because at the same time, I feel like our defense and all. I'm seeing guys step up. Play a lot of defense and get stops, and it's an emotional game. But today we still stuck together, and we didn't break, and I like that we kept togetherness as the vocal point.
So there was DeAndre Ayton, and look, he said it himself. He might be a confusing center for some because of the way that he plays the game, but I still think that he can evolve. And I think if you're DeAndre Ayton, you said all these things in the offseason about wanting to change and wanting to be a different player. This guy's like a restaurant that is close to maybe being defunct if he doesn't add some new items to the menu or completely change the menu. And he needs to change the menu to get to where he needs to get to as a player. And the beautiful thing about it is still athletic, still has the talent, still has the touch around the rim, making shots. I believe in DeAndre Ayton. I really do. It just, we need to see it, and it's just game one, so let's not overreact after one game because, of course, that is going to be the case. But still, I think last night we have the blueprint and the framework for what needs to change for DeAndre Ayton and this Lakers team. Now, the number one thing that needs to change from game one to game two is the third quarter scoring. And if they don't correct this, it's going to be a long year for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Warriors started the third quarter on a 17-4 run. They completely took control of the game. It was just more of the same from this Lakers team in those situations. I mean, Luka Doncic, he showed up to start the second half. He scored the team's first 7 points. But the first non-Luka Doncic points in the third quarter came at the 5:29 mark in the third period. At that point, the Lakers were down by 14 points, and the game felt like it was lost. Now, the Warriors are a really good team. They really are. They're deep. They have skill. They've got greatest shooter of all time in Steph Curry. The addition of Jimmy Butler, who didn't miss a free throw. He was outstanding. You got annoying Draymond Green doing his thing. Kuminga, he was getting after it. But still, it's very concerning that it doesn't matter who it is. If it's a good team, it happens. If it's a bad team, it happens. In the preseason, the Lakers, they were outscored 201 to 136 in 6 games in the third quarter. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a good game or a bad game. I mean, the only time that they won the third quarter was against the Kings, and in that third quarter, they won just by 1 point. So now we have a lot of examples of this team that continues to struggle in the third quarter. It's something that needs to change immediately from an effort standpoint, a schematic standpoint, and I think this falls on J.J. Redick. This is squarely on J.J. Redick because he has to get his team ready to play, and I'm not talking about Luka Doncic, and when LeBron's back, I'm sure he's going to be ready to go too, but this falls on Luka Doncic to continue to lead, though, and grow as a leader and get his guys ready because whoever is to blame, J.J., Luka, the role players, they have to find a way to get more production because you are going to lose a lot of games if you're getting overwhelmingly outscored to start the second half like we've seen for too long now. Here was J.J. Redick talking about the Lakers opening night and those third quarter issues.
The trend I see is that we continue to be a terrible third quarter team to start. That was last year. That was the preseason. got to rethink some things, and it's a two-way thing with the guys. What do they need at halftime to make sure they're ready to play? They're not ready to play to start the third quarter. I think that's more it. Again, trying to throw a lob pass, fit in a lob pass to DA, and it ends up being a turnover. I think that's going to happen to any team, to any two-man partnership, whether you've got continuity. That happens sometimes. I think it's mostly self-inflicted, and I think if you look at this game, like a microcosm of this game was we did enough good things to put ourselves in a position to win for most of the game, and that when we didn't do those things, they were self-inflicted.
You touched on it.
They were self-inflicted. So that's not being organized in early offense. That's having the wrong guy bring it up. That's we knew they were blitzing and stack. That's supposed to be stack 2. Guy stays. Now there's no outlet for the passer. Those are not sprinting back. We make a run. We got 2 guys back. Buddy Hield gets a wide open 3 for some reason on a full court pass. Those are self-inflicted things. So that's not anything Golden State did to us.
So, hey, look, what are they doing at halftime? I'm going to start going to these games, these practices. I'm going to have the opportunity to ask these guys some questions myself. And if I do get the opportunity, if I'm there in that situation, I'm saying, hey, JJ, what happens during halftime? Because I'll never forget when Kevin Garnett was on a podcast recently, and he talked about how different the game has been from before the smartphone era and when he was in Minnesota for the first time, and when he came back to Minnesota, what dudes do at halftime. I mean, guys are listening to music, guys are zoning out. KG said in the past it was always about going through the game plan. And it makes you wonder, are dudes playing video games? Are they on their phones, making plans, taking a nap? Who knows what the hell they're doing, but they need to do something different because this is not working. Now, I will say that this team still would have had a really good chance to win this game had they not shot 25% from beyond the arc. They go 8 for 32 as a team. The Warriors go 17 for 40, shot 42.5%. And also the free throws. The Lakers at the line, I mean, you go 17 for 28. You miss 11 free throws. If you don't miss 11 free throws, this game likely comes down to the final shot, and you shoot 60.7%. The Warriors go 26 for 29, shoot 89.7% from the charity stripe. But outside of that, the turnovers were essentially the same, 20-19. And you look at the assists and steals, blocks, I mean, all that is pretty consistent. But the largest lead for the Warriors was 17. Largest lead for the Lakers was 2. So you kind of put yourself in a position where you're fighting back and clawing back in a game, and what that means to a team that doesn't have LeBron James and the depth. So that's another thing, too. I mean, this team, without LeBron James, was still in a position because of Luka Doncic's greatness to be in a position to steal this game late. Here was J.J. Redick talking about LeBron James in his absence and just kind of who's been filling in for him on defense, yelling out assignments, and just kind of how it's in the back of his mind where he's at, just looking big picture, kind of wishing he was still in there.
It's hard to forget about LeBron. The reality is when you're focused on the group that you have, you got to make that group work. So it's sometimes you can just be like, oh my God, we're going to get LeBron back at some point. Like it's awesome, but you are focused. I'll be honest with you. I did have one moment in that first half when we had a few possessions we couldn't score against the zone. I'm like, it'd be great to have LeBron just to throw it to at the high post. Yeah, no, I think Da and Marcus have done a really nice job. Gabe, I know Luka and AR are being more vocal as well. But I would say right now it's Da, Marcus, Da, Marcus, and Gabe.
So he's talking about Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton, who've done a nice job. And he also talked about some of the other growing pains for this team because, I mean, this still is a team that has not been together. You have new pieces. It's a new year. And it doesn't matter any year, right? Even if it's guys that are returning, it's going to take some time to really find a rhythm. Here's JJ talking about the growing pains of this team and how quickly you can kind of start to find something with this group.
Sure. Yeah. I think there's a little bit of that. I think that, to me, that shows up more on defense. When, I said pregame, you got to be really disciplined. It's like the times, to Kobe's question, the times you make your own thing up. Steph Curry gets a back cut for a layup. Gary Payton slips and gets a dunk. We don't read a small pick and roll, and I wasn't on the floor. I don't know what the call is, and Jimmy turns the corner, they get a layup. So there's going to be growing pains with that, I think, early in the season, and hopefully it's not long. But it's more organization than it is like knowing guys' tendencies. I think that's where the offense struggles.
Yeah, so he knows he has the work cut out for him, and there's no doubt about the fact that, hey, in year one, he took a lot of people by surprise with how good he was as a head coach, and he's got an extension, and he's going to be the guy here long term. We saw LeBron James on the sideline. This team knows what they have to do, and it is one game. But who did see the game was Magic Johnson. And how do you know? Well, Magic tweeted about it. Magic tweeted, "I went to the Lakers game last night and watched my Lakers get beat by the Warriors 119-101. I love Magic Johnson. I've met Magic Johnson multiple times. One of the nicest sports legends you will ever meet. Always takes the time to take pictures with you and have a conversation with you. I remember having a conversation with him and talking about Jermaine O'Neal trade possibly way back in the day. But this is always funny to me. Can you believe this guy was the president of basketball operations at one point? This guy was the president of basketball operations for the Lakers at one point. And this dude, it's Magic GPT. And you can always trust Magic Johnson to give a factual report of what happened. It feels like AI responses have been trained on Magic's tweets, doesn't it? It almost sounds like he's tweeting alibi, too. Like, I was at the Laker game. Hey, I was at the game, right? That's where I was. So it's good to see Magic Johnson Irving at the game. Of course, his Dodgers ownership, Mark Walter, was there as well. So Magic Johnson at the game. Okay, let's quickly do some player grades, and then we are going to do the breakdown. So we already talked a lot about Luka Doncic. I got to give him an A for his first game of the season. And how about AR? Austin Reaves, 26 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 5 turnovers, 5 fouls. Had those 5 fouls early. They really impacted the game. Goes 9 for 16 from the field, 1 for 5 from beyond the arc, 36 minutes. And as you look at the box score, it's definitely a good game. But I think that if you watch the game, it doesn't match how you felt about it. Because before he hit that layup with 9:25 left in the fourth quarter, Reaves had 13 points. And then a lot of the points came in that unsuccessful fake comeback by the Lakers. So this is someone that has, throughout his career at times, he's quiet, and then he's a part of a late rally that the Lakers don't win. So I still feel like I'm on the fence on Austin Reaves long term. I really am. I think that he really, if we're having critical talk, like I said, this is not your sunshine pumper, afraid to have takes Lakers podcast like most of them out there. Okay, this is a truth-telling Lakers podcast where if he's not the best fit for Luka Doncic and you feel like LeBron James comes back and is performing at a top 5 to 10 level and there's a chance to chase a championship this year, that's what this organization is going to do to try to win Banner 18. And I would not completely rule out them. And I've heard from sources that it's not a slam dunk. I mean, there is definitely an auditioning. It feels like this is Luka Doncic's franchise, and Austin Reaves, I think, is going to have to prove that he can be that guy on this team. So if he wants to be paid like he wants to pay $30+ million, and he wants to be played like an all-star, he needs to start playing like one regularly, earlier in games, not just in a comeback before the team is down by double digits. And so he also got himself in foul trouble that threw him on the bench. So I give Austin Reaves a C- in this one, a C-. And then Rui Hachimura, 9 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 1 turnover, had 2 fouls, 3 for 6. And he had 2 threes late in the first half. That gave the Lakers that lead they had that was very brief. But he had just 1 made shot outside of that. Rui, this is who he is sometimes. Like, I mean, if he wants to stay long term, he can't be a guy who's come and makes his shots and leaves. Like, I think Rui just needs to, I don't know if it's lack of focus, lack of fire, but he's just inconsistent. And I give that performance from Rui a D. That was a D from Rui. I'm not impressed. I really am not. Like, he needs to be better for this team consistently. There's a little bit of this like pretty boy thing with him. Get down and dirty and get nasty. I want to see it more regularly. There's too much. I feel like there's just a little, not enough for me from Rui Hachimura. Gabe Vincent, another guy, he gets an F. 3 points, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 fouls, 1 for 4 from beyond the arc. And this should be one of the last time he starts. For him, the argument that he should start was based on his ability to shoot and play defense. Did not contribute like he should have. He made one of his 4 3-point attempts in 30 minutes. That did not work. So he gets an F. Marcus Smart, I like Marcus Smart in the game that he had. 9 points, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 4 fouls. If this is what Marcus Smart is going to do for the Lakers, I mean, this is interesting because the stat line doesn't show you everything he did in 23 minutes. I mean, the second half was a little less wild on both ends of the floor, but I like the chaotic element that he brings. He provides energy too. So I give that a B. Jake LaRavia, 16 minutes, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 foul. Not a great first half. Better second half. He didn't have a big game. I mean, wasn't lights out or did anything to move the needle for me. I give him a C-. Jackson Hayes, 4 points in 14 minutes. He's someone that you kind of know what he is. 6 rebounds in 14 minutes, too. That was big. He honestly was the best center for the night. You could possibly say that, which is more of a shot at 8 than anything else. But rebounding-wise, he was there. 2 fouls, so I give him a B in his role. Jared Vanderbilt, 12 minutes, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 turnovers. Vando, I mean, he was bad offensively. I mean, between the preseason and yesterday, I mean, there's nothing that would give you confidence that his 3-point shot has improved. It looks like he's comfortable shooting more shots that'll just lead to more misses. And he's also, I mean, he lost the ball in a drive and he didn't finish around the rim. It was a bad night. There was not a lot of positives for Vando other than he was willing to go toe-to-toe with DeAndre on a little shoving session there. He gets an F. J.J. Redick, I think I like the fact that he took a lot of the blame in this one. Decision-wise, the decision to start Gabe Vincent, that was a bad decision. That was a failure. The Warriors, they were attacking him all night. Butler was all over him, and you knew they were going to do that. They were going to hunt Gabe Vincent. They did it, and it was successful. Second, well, the Lakers, you like the fact that you are prioritizing a healthy roster in the preseason, but it does feel after watching yesterday that this team did not have enough time to get in the preseason. I know that J.J. Redick communicating with Sean McVay. Sean McVay is a Super Bowl winning head coach. Sean McVay could go down as one of the best coaches in NFL history, quite frankly. J.J. Redick needs to kind of carve out his own thing, and basketball is a little different than football in a million different ways. So, yeah, you look at the DMPs, the inactives, LeBron, Maxi Kleber, Nick Smith Jr., Chris Menon, Thyro, Bronny James, Dalton Connect, and Koloko were DNPs. But that is going to do it for this episode of the LA Sports Report. Lots to build on for the Lakers. I'm still overall excited because, I mean, I have not felt it. Kind of going back to Vanessa Bryant and Natalia, I mean, Luka feels like if you could handpick a current NBA superstar to take over for this franchise, it would be Luka Doncic. Because LeBron's more of a magic and playing style. Also, he was someone that was a peer of Kobe. They battled. Luka feels like a new era and someone that is cut from that Kobe cloth as far as he gets mad, he gets angry, and he kind of has that Luka magic Mamba mentality that they bring in clutch moments as far as the fire and intensity that they bring in the FU moment. So I think that it's a perfect match, and I could not be excited to watch Luka Doncic grow with the Los Angeles Lakers. But that is going to do it for this episode of the LA Sports Report. We're going to leave you with highlights from last night's game. If you're new to the show, you're going to see these all throughout the year. Breakdowns of highlights, not going to find that anywhere else. And we're excited for this show. We put a lot of work into it, a lot of money invested. And, we're going to have some interviews. Dalton Connect pretty soon is going to be on the show. We're excited about that. So be sure to subscribe to the LA Sports Report and also follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. And until next time, I'm out. Lakers-Warriors opening night. Luka Doncic, LeBron James in street clothes, missing the first 3 weeks with sciatica. First shot for Luka is up. It bounces around and goes in for the first points of the season. A slimmed down Luka. Here's Austin Reaves. He gets into the lane. Layup is up and in. Reaves getting in the lane, but he pump fakes, finds Luka Doncic for the three. Splash! Luka Doncic buries the triple. Here's the alley-oop. Jimmy Butler throws it down. The defense in the paint needed to be better. Steph Curry, top of the key. He hits a three for the chef. Makes it a 12-9 game early. And Kuminga, top of the key, hits one on Marcus Smart. 3-ball falling for the Warriors early. And steal by Buddy Hield. It's a play you can't have. Laravia. Here's Luka Doncic probing, getting into the lane. Elbow free throw, that rolls in. Luka was incredible in this one. Just needed more help. Buddy Hield used that off arm, doesn't get called for it. Shot is up and good. A three for Buddy Hield. Jimmy Butler finding Al Horford. The antique gets one to go. 25-18 early. And here's Reaves into the lane. Another layup at the rim is good for Reaves. Behind the back. Left-handed. Switches back to right. Great move. Great body control by the Hillbilly Mamba. Vando back to Reaves. Reaves to Jackson Hayes, and he puts it up and in. Good sequence there. Second quarter action. Austin Reaves finds Gabe Vincent for the wing triple. He buries it. Only 8 3-pointers made on the night for the Lakers. You need more from downtown if you're LA. And here's Austin Reaves finding Vando. He loses the ball. And a little pushing from Draymond and Vando. Vando's not afraid. He's not backing down. He pushes back. He says he's using that off arm. Vando wants all the smoke. And here's Reaves. Crossover. Gets that friendly roll. Reaves was in his bag in this one. Here's Luka. Backing down Steph. Step back at the free throw line. That's nothing but nylon. Here's DeAndre Ayton. Gets the ball stolen. Here's the Warriors in transition. And Peyton gets it up and in. Redick's not happy about that. Alford gets blocked by Luka. Here comes the Lakers the other way. And Reaves finds Vincent. That's actually Marcus Smart. And Marcus Smart puts it up and in. Some energy provided. Good block there by Luka Doncic. Rebound to Ayton. And Marcus Smart. We've seen that layup for years in this league. And here's Luka Doncic getting in the lane. Feels the contact. Shot is up and in. Steph off the glass. Makes it a 49-41 game. And then here's Luka Doncic getting the contact, getting the bucket, and one. Luka Doncic. Great job baiting Kuminga into that. High five. And here's Luka. Bounce pass to Rui Hachimura. The three is good. Rui showing some life from beyond the arc. Another swing pass. Rui up and in. He hits the three. Lakers take the lead before the half. Here's Luka Doncic guarded by Jimmy Butler. Step back three is up. And it's in. Luka magic behind the back. There's nothing you can do to defend that shot. Well defended shot. Good offense beats better defense. Third quarter, Luka Doncic in the lane. Puts it up, puts it in. an absolute scoring machine. Physically, he looked fantastic. He looked like an MVP tonight. He was the best player on the court tonight. Here's Luka Doncic, guarded by Kuminga. Shot is up, off the glass, and it's in. Draymond probing. Shot is up, and it is in. Corner three for Kuminga. Warriors starting to get a cushion here. Here's Jimmy Butler on Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent had no answer. Jimmy Butler saying he's too small to guard me. And the lead balloons to 15. Luka Doncic gets the roll. Another and one. Here's Draymond. Just too many easy layups. That's an easy cut. Easy dunk for Gary Payton, too. DeAndre Ayton. Turn around in the paint. He hits the shot. 81-70. Kuminga creating. He hits the bucket. Good night for Kuminga. And here's Luka Doncic finding Jackson Hayes. He swings it to LaRavia. Shot is up. And LaRavia, the new Laker, hits the triple to make it a 12-point game. Luka Doncic finds Jackson Hayes. 88-77. Here's Buddy Hield, top of the key. Air ball. They get the rebound. They put it back. Fourth quarter. Here comes Draymond Green. And Draymond Green, coast-to-coast layup and the foul. That puts the Dubs up 95-81. Curry's like, let's go. Reaves gets the contact, gets the foul. Nicely done by LeBron James. Here's Buddy Hield, step back. Buddy was on tonight. Curry's waving, maybe to his wife, who's constantly disrespecting him. And there's Luka Doncic off the glass. Buddy Hield off the front rim. Here's Austin Reaves. The outlet pass finds Luka Doncic. Luka into the paint. Hook shot is good. The baby hook goes. Lakers still have live timeout. Warriors 102-90. And here's Luka Doncic finding Rui Hachimura top of the key. And that goes. Jimmy Butler finding Draymond Green. Corner three is good. Austin Reaves. Angle three. He hits. Butler, it's probably the best sequence of the game. 114, 105, 135 to go. And the Warriors just pulling away here. Steph Curry says night-night. Hits the three over Gabe Vincent. Deep three. He's the closer. Chef still got it. And the Lakers, they lose on opening night like we've seen for most of the last decade. 119-109. Luka Doncic, 43 points on 17 of 27 shooting, 12 rebounds. Austin Reaves, 9 for 16, finished with 26 and 9 assists on the night. DeAndre Ayton in double figures with 10, 5 for 7, an efficient night, 6 rebounds. Definitely want to see more from him. Lakers clearly missing LeBron James and another star that can get some points against better teams. But that's going to do it. If you guys want to see more breakdowns like this, subscribe to the LA Sports Report. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hit that like button. My name is Doug McKain. Follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. And until next time, I'm out.